Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. This is video number 4 in Wellington's wealth building series. It's a series of YouTube videos dedicated to helping you build lasting wealth through real estate. First of all, if you've made it to this video and you've watched all the way through, I can tell that you're gonna go very far in this. You're somebody that you're really dedicated. You really wanna absorb as much knowledge and information as possible to make the best decisions. And that already puts you ahead of like 95% of others. If you can watch a long video like this, you already have a better attention span than most people. In this video, we're gonna expand a little bit more and talk about some of the best practices that you wanna have in place as you're building and expanding your portfolio. As you get more comfortable buying land, as you get more comfortable buying property and renting out and finding tenants. These are some things for you to keep in mind moving forward. All right, let's talk about who this video is not for. If you have given up on the idea of buying a rental, don't watch this video. If you have had a rental, you've bought a rental and you've come to the realization that it's just something not for you, then you're probably not gonna click on this video anyway. By this point now, you have your buy box. You know what kind of properties you wanna buy. You've decided on whether you're gonna do cash or whether you're gonna do finance. One thing I wanna touch on that is when you're buying rentals, ask yourself this question. In 10 years, would you rather have 2 properties that you own outright and you don't have to make payments on, or 5 properties that you have 5 mortgages on that you're relying on your tenants to pay for? Which one gives you greater peace of mind? Let me know in the comments below what you think. In this video, I'm gonna go over a couple of best practices as you're building out and you're expanding your real estate portfolio. Then we're gonna dive in and we're gonna do a couple of more case studies. In our last video, we did a couple of case studies and we were unable to find a property that could cash flow here in Las Vegas. So in this video, we're gonna take a little bit more of an advanced approach and we're gonna just dive in. We're gonna keep going until we find a property that we think could be worth the numbers and worth investing. And if we can't find one, well, then that's something there for you to know as well. Without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, y'all, so let's pick things back up where we left last time. So if we come back to our spreadsheet here, let's clear all this stuff out. Actually, let's start from the beginning and we will come back to these numbers a bit. But what I want to do now is I want to zoom out a little bit. Let's look at areas for sale in Las Vegas and let's define our buy box. So let's say for this example, I want to buy rental properties that are condos or townhouses that are no more than $250,000 with at least 2 bedrooms and at least 700 square feet. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, 2 bed, 2 plus baths, got that. Condo, townhouse, and our minimum is, maximum, is 250,000. Okay, let's not limit ourselves to that neighborhood anymore. Let's look at all of the greater Las Vegas area. And we see we have 534 results. There's quite a lot of supply out there, which is good. Now we just have to try and find the right one. What I want to do here is, there's this property here in Boulder City, which is it's like not really Las Vegas, but it's on the outskirts of Las Vegas. So let's take a look here. Let's see if we can find something. Okay, we got this one here. Not really jumping out to me, honestly. So that red carpet, that red carpet. Usually red carpet's a good thing. By God, who would want that for the floor? Okay, we'll take a look at this one. Let's open it. Let's see what we got. 823 square feet, built in 1983. It's been on the market for 67 days. So what that tells me is potentially the seller might be desperate to get rid of it. HOA is 175. Not bad for a condo. Okay, this property was bought back in 2004 for under $50,000. What a steal, man. What happened to those days when you can buy properties for that price? Long gone. Okay, so looking at the pictures here, I can tell that I'd have to get rid of the carpet, and depending on how that carpet is there, that could potentially be a couple of $1,000s to get that. Washer and dryer look really good, really modern. That fridge has got to go, and that kitchen, it works, but it's not the best. Okay, so what we gotta do is we gotta look at what else is for rent, this area, see how much it's renting for, and see and compare the condition of those kitchens to this one. Because if we want to hit the market with this property, we might have to do some renovation. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this one in my back pocket. We'll come back to it. Let's keep looking. Okay, 1303 Darlene Way. Okay, let's see what we got. Nice. Community pool, that's good. Alright, this one is virtually staged. The floor looks very modern. The kitchen's not too bad. Good. So there's no crazy red carpets or red flags here that I can see that jump out at me right away. HOA is at 270, so that's kind of high. Would be nice if that was a bit lower. Okay, so looking at the monthly expenses here, just a preview, we are looking at about $1,400 a month. So we know our rent would have to be at least more than that. Okay, let's keep looking. Alright, let's see. Okay, I think for the purposes of this video, we're gonna limit our search to these two. And between these two, one of them is listed for $167, the other one's listed for $187. This is where you have to decide kind of what your comfort level is with rehabbing a place. Me, I feel that I can save $20,000 and make upgrades with less than that to make this property look good. They're both very comparable, but the key thing is this property here has a lower HOA, and that's something you can't really change, you can't fix with a rehab. So let's try and run the numbers with this property, and let's see where we are. Okay, so purchase price. They're asking for $167. Alright, we'll start with that number. Okay, that brings our down payment 25% to $41,000. Our loan amount is going to be $125,250. Assuming a 6% interest rate, okay, our monthly mortgage is going to be $750. Our HOA, we already mentioned, is $175. Property taxes and insurance, we are at, okay, now estimated rent. Let's see what we can get for this property. Watch me sign in now to our MLS. Honestly, there's not that many results. We only have 7 results here. Let's search within half a mile. And we are looking for condos, apartments, townhouses. Let's see what we got. We are 2 bedrooms, 2+ baths. Not getting any results within half. Let's go out to 1 mile. Now we see we're getting something. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, we got a property here rented for $1,800, 3 bed, 3 bath. So let's make this as accurate as possible. Okay, let's cut it down now to 2+ beds and just 2 baths. Try and get a comparable here. Okay, so we got this. This is a condo that rented out for $1,500, $15.25. Let's take a look at it. Okay, it's carpet, a fridge, not best. So this is a pretty mid-end property, but all the walls are painted white. It looks pretty move-in ready. I don't see any kind of amenities here. Alright, so this one rented for, again, $1,525. Got one that rented at $1,200, $1,100, $1,295. 2 on the market for around $1,300. So this one's a bit of an outlier for sure. Let's take a look at these, which are all in the same area. This one has a community pool. Okay, these photos just suck. They probably limited the buyers that they can get, and therefore limited the amount of renting. Okay, next up this one. Photos are a little better. Fridge is pretty modern, but that kitchen looks so tight. It's tighter than the 2-door Civic. Alright, so based off the rental analysis, I think I'm getting a rough idea here. I can probably rent this out for, I'd say, about $1,300. So let's come back here. Okay, estimated monthly rent $1,300. The vacancy rate of, accounting for vacancy rate of 8%, and maintenance of 5%. Our total monthly expenses are $1,267 without monthly cash flow at around $32. So this is a solid, just 1 thumbs up. 1 thumbs up here as far as cash flow. It's a little close, but it's progress. So break even, yes. May have to make some renovations to get it up to snuff. As you saw from the comps, some of the properties that rented out were not in the best condition. They rented out for less. If your property looks better, has more things going for it, then you can expect to get a higher rent. It's all about when you have a rental, it's all about trying to create demand, trying to create buzz, trying to put your property in a better position than all the other ones. Okay, so this one's a go. Let's see if we can find another property in a different neighborhood. So what you're gonna find is that when it comes to investment properties and trying to get cash flow, you don't want to buy on the expensive parts of town, because the numbers are just not gonna work in your favor. So you want to try and buy in what they call B neighborhoods. These aren't the best neighborhoods, but they're not the worst either. So with that said, everybody has a different opinion about what the worst neighborhoods are in Las Vegas, and you know, it wouldn't be right for me to tell you what's bad and what's not. That's something you have to really decide on your own. In my case, and for this video, I want to go ahead and look at some properties in the east part of Las Vegas, downtown. Let's see if we can find something that is close to maybe one of the college campuses like UNLV or something like that. Okay, University District, let's see what we got. So I'll be honest, I'll be looking for the properties, the numbers that are low, because I think I can have a good amount of confidence that I can make numbers. Let's see, we got this one here at 174. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, again, this is the difference between being a buyer and an investor. When you're an investor, you got to look beyond the crappy photos. You got to look beyond the crappy kind of facade of a place, and be able to see the potential of something and what you can do with it. Okay, next up we got this one. Let's see what we got here. The first picture of a pool, I get it. You want to entice people. Looks pretty decent. We'll check it out. And then this one is jumping out at me. This one looks very nice, very cool, very beautiful. And only 180 and 900. That's almost 1,000 square foot right there. So I definitely want to take a look at this one. This is going to be a good amount of bang buck. This one looks very nice too. Let's see what this one's about. Okay, Jupiter Court. Again, the photos don't look that good, so this property's not really shining. There's no kitchen appliances here. This is very bareless. This I notice say. It's not a good sign. That bathroom, yeah, that bathroom is, I don't know if I'd want to take a shower. What the F is that? Okay, this one, not looking that good. Let's see the HOA, 190. Okay. Next up, we got 4364 Swenson Street. Alright, Swenson, what you got for us? Community pool, all good. Not much to go on, just a bunch of photos of the community and the park. So this one, not really catching my eye. Okay, 4050 Pacific Harbors Drive. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. These condos are very nice, pretty upscale. Looks like this was built pretty recently. Let's see, when was this built? 1986. So what you can tell is they do a very good job with the upkeep here. So this looks good. This looks very good. Is the furniture included? If it's included with the purchase price, hey, that's means you can charge even more rent because you have furniture in there. So this one's, I like this one a lot. Okay, HOA's at 275. That's kind of high. So with that said, one of the things that you want to be aware of when you're buying investment properties and condos is that not all condos allow investors to buy them. Some condos, they have like requirements where only a certain percentage of the units can be rented out at one time. So have your realtor check to make sure that the condo still has room to accept a new investor in their community. This is one that I definitely want to take a look. Let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, so what do we got? 4050 Pacific Drive. They are asking for 180. Okay, down payment's 25. Here we go. I'm just gonna copy straight through. So this HOA is $100 per month more compared to the last one. That might kill the deal here. Let's see. 125 plus 60. Let's see how much rent we can get. 4050 Pacific Harbor. Okay, let's look within half a mile. Condos, townhouses, apartments, plus bedrooms, 2 baths. Okay, we got a couple on the market right now. So firstly, let's look at what's closest. We got one property here that rented out for $1,300. One here, another one for $13, another one for $13, another one for $13. So all the units here All the units here seem to rent out for roughly $1,300, except for this one, which rented for $1,900. That's because it's a 3-bedroom. Actually, these are all 3 bedrooms. So, with that said, given the community, I feel pretty confident that the going rate for this will probably also be $1,300, just numbers. I'm not even gonna need to look at all the others, but let's take a look anyway. Let's see what else is on the market. We got this unit here that's on the market for over $2,000 they're asking for. It's presented really well. It's a townhouse. It has a garage, has a backyard. It's got 1,500 square foot. So this one's kind of in a different league, but sometimes you want to take a look at what else is on the market and see how to position your rental against this one. I'm just curious now what's the history with this one. Looks like they're also trying to sell this property. You can see here it's active on the market for sale at $355. $355, that's very expensive. Now, could the numbers work for that one? I don't know. That's something that if you're an investor, you're interested, you're gonna take a look. For me, I'm just trying to look for comfort mind. So coming back here, again, this one also rents for $1,300. So you can see that despite it being nicer, it looking newer, it didn't really help us get more rent. And on top of that, we have higher HOA costs. In this case, we are actually negative $138. And the main difference here is that HOA fee really ate up into it, and then also the higher purchase price. So what would it take for us to come down to a positive cash flow? Well, we're gonna have to lower our offer. So let's say 150. Now we're negative 340 now as far as our cash flow goes. So break even, yes, I'm gonna say yes for that one. But we have to offer 30,000 below asking price. Okay, that's the reality. In order to get the numbers that's gonna work for us. So this area is an investment. It's gonna take a little bit more work to make the numbers. If you find this video at all helpful, then please click on the like button, click on subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever I put out a new video. And it helps keep me motivated, helps keep me putting out content like this for you. The goal of this YouTube channel is to teach and empower others, people just like you, to build wealth and live rich lives through using the power of real estate. My goal by making videos like this one is to help change your perspective, change your habits, ultimately change your behavior, to build a positive, loving, constructive, creative, and rich future for yourself, for your family, and for the world around you. So yeah, back to the video. Okay, we're back from the break. So what I want to do now is a little different. We already know that these numbers work and produce us cash. So let's take these numbers and work back. Let's see if we can find other properties that can get us similar. So here's what we'll do. We will come to the MLS and we will do a search for apartments, for condos, townhouse that rent for at least $1,400, that are 2+ beds, 2 baths, 750 square feet. Okay, right away we can see there's a lot of property that meet that criteria. But what we don't know from this search is which are the properties that are at the price. So we have to kind of take this map and this map, put them together. So the properties that are in our budget, I can see a bulk of them are kind of here along the strip, along the air, and in North Las Vegas, close to North Las Vegas Airport. So I'm seeing only a few properties around the airport there that have sold. So I want to come back to this potential. Let's see if we can find something better. We have another cluster here in this neighborhood here, West Winchester. We look at West Winchester. There's a few properties here that rented for more than 4. This one's a town. So you know what? Let's only look for condos, because that's what we're trying to reverse it. So we only have one example in that neighborhood that had rent of at least $1,400. We don't really want to go there. Okay, what else? We have some properties here close to Nellis that are in that price point. Let's see if anything. Okay, we have some. So let's zoom in. So these properties are along Craig Road after Northland. So we're kind of in the same ballpark. Okay, let's see. We got a 3-bed, 2-bath condo rented for $1,700. A 2-bed that rented for $14, and a 3-bed that rented for about $16. Let's take a look at these properties. 3-bed for $229, 2-bed for $165, 3-bed for $210. There's a 3-bed here for $199. Looks very similar, if not almost the same as this. So if I can buy a property like this one, and if I can rent it for $1,600, what would the numbers look like? Well, let's take a look. First of all, we gotta check the HOA. 304. Ouch. Honestly, off the bat, my gut tells me this is not gonna work because of that height. Let's go to our trusty calculator. Let's take a look. $199, and then I can rent it for $1,600. HOA was 304. Property tax. Okay, so with that said, looks like we are just about breaking even on this one. Even though we have that high HOA, I think we can make it work. However, we'd have to really get that rent of $1,600. Otherwise, that's not worth it. See, this is a 3-bed and it rents it for $17. So for the 3 bedrooms, you command a little more of a premium. And taking a look at this one, it looks in pretty good condition. Honestly, looks ready to rent. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so there you go. You have some examples here of some properties that can cash flow. I hope you found this helpful. It takes a bit of work and it takes a lot of playing with the number. Definitely talk to your realtor. Make sure that these are communities that can accept a new investor, new investment. And once you find an area that you find a lot of opportunity buying rentals, get to know the area. Go take a drive, take a look, see what you like, what you don't like. The same things you don't like, your renters potentially might not like. It's good to be aware of those things. Okay, back to the video. In my last video, which if you haven't seen, you can check out here, I went over a lot of the things you want to keep in mind when you're buying rental property. What's your buy box? Are you buying cash or are you financing? Is being a landlord for you? And truth be told, these are things that I really meant to go over more in this video, but I didn't want to send you guys out there to buy rental properties without having everything and all the knowledge that I really feel you should have before you go. Even before you buy your first property, you should define your buy box. You should know whether you're buying cash or whether you're financing. And on that subject, ask yourself this question. In 10 years, do you want to have 2 properties that you own fully and you don't make mortgage payments on that are pure cash flow? Or do you want to have 5 properties with 5 mortgages and 5 sets of tenants that pay your mortgages? It's something to think about. All right, so if you've done a rental property deal, you've been able to do that, you got it done, and now you're thinking about what's next. How can I expand from here? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have a solid team. This is a set of people that are going to be supporting you as you build your real estate empire. All right, let's talk about your team. Number 1, I highly recommend you have a good contractor or a good handyman. Somebody that can go to your property and take care of some of the common issues like plumbing issues. You know, maybe an outlet's not working or the light went out, which you shouldn't need to send someone for that, but some tenants sometimes, you know. So you need a good contractor. A contractor to help you upkeep your property. Number 2, you need a good realtor to help you buy these properties. And I mentioned this in the last video, but that realtor should be someone like me that specializes in working with investors and helping them work with their buy box and their numbers to help find properties that are a good fit and potentially good investment properties. This realtor is going to help you. So as a realtor, we'll help you write your offer. We'll negotiate with the seller on your behalf, and we'll follow up on the paperwork, make sure everything goes through. And that's a very key position. Think of your realtor like your coordinator. That's the one that's gonna oversee the transaction and make sure everything goes well and smooth. Number 3, if you decided to go the financing route and taking mortgages, then you're gonna wanna have a good lender that you work with and somebody that knows your financial situation. They know kind of what you buy and you have a good working relationship with them. They can give you those appraisal contingencies and they can do the loan application and give you a turnaround time that's pretty quick. So get yourself a good mortgage officer. Number 4, you need a lawyer to help cover your butt. All right, let's face it. As you build your real estate empire, unfortunately, sometimes you're gonna face some legal challenges. People could sue or things can happen. and a lawyer will help you set up an LLC, will help you use certain things like asset protection vehicles, and those are things that can help cover your butt and protect your assets as you expand. Make sure you got a good lawyer. Number 5, if after a certain number of properties, you're not gonna be able to manage all of those. So you're gonna eventually have to hire a property manager. You can hire an outside company to do the property management for you, or if you really wanna go big, you can hire an employee that's a licensed property manager to manage your property specifically for you. Next up is you're gonna need a financial planner. If you really wanna think ahead, a financial planner, just that, they help you plan your finances in the future. This is someone that's gonna have you look at the bigger picture, not just your real estate. They're gonna look at your stocks. They're gonna look at your retirement accounts, and they're gonna help you make sure that your future is accounted for and you have a good plan so that when the time comes to retire, you have a solid financial standing on which to go by. And lastly, you're gonna need a CPA to help keep all your taxes and all your records, all your financial records in order. So that's that. It's very important to have a good team. I would not recommend trying to do absolutely everything on yourself. And honestly, that's something I gotta start following myself. All right, without further ado, practice makes perfect, right? So let's go ahead, let's dive in and let's do some case studies. Let's see if we can find the property that cash flows here in Vegas? Let's find out. Okay, so there you go. After some work, we finally were able to find a property that can cash flow for us and could potentially be a solid rental property for us to buy and rent out. With that said, I want to touch on something that I think is very important here. A lot of investors, they don't want to buy properties that are in the MLS. They want to buy off-market properties. Properties that aren't really listed for sale to the general public. Why? Because the general public may not want to buy that kind of property because maybe it's pretty banged up, it's pretty beat up, it needs a lot of rehab to get back up to snuff. Those kind of deals are they're like not so easy to find, if that makes sense. So with that said, there are a lot of investors that don't want to buy anything off the MLS. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just something that's out there. It's my job to pass the information along and leave it up to you to decide which way you want to go. Look, I get text messages all the time, investors always asking me, hey, do you have any off-market properties that are about to come online? Things that potentially need some work, things that, look, just this morning, hey Wellington, this is Matt. We buy properties cash as is, asking for no repairs. Got anything you'd like to move quickly? We can close fast. So there's a lot of investors that, maybe they're doing fix and flips. So this video series is not about doing fix and flips, but it's just something for you to be aware of, okay? Let's move on. All right, so in conclusion, real estate, it's something for the long term. It's for the long game. With that said, have some fun with it. You gotta have fun with it. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, everything that it brings. Look, it's not easy. Finding the right property, making an offer, getting it accepted, reconditioning a property if needed, finding tenants. It's not easy. But truthfully, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be having that passive income. And if that's something that you want and you want to get the best practices to set you up for success so that when you go out there and you buy a property, you have all the tools that you need to make it successful, then you're in the right place. Also, take your time. Don't rush the process. Be patient. And honestly, that's something I gotta remind myself of constantly. It's so easy when you get caught up in the weeds and the details, you want it and you want it now and you want to see the results now. Be patient. Be patient. It'll come. Build your team. Add and subtract to your team if you have to as time goes on. But have a team. Don't do it alone. And lastly, cover your butt. Cover your butt. Put things in an LLC. Every 2 or 3 or 4 properties, create an LLC, put all those properties in that LLC or whatever other legal structure that works best for your scenario. Definitely talk to your lawyer about that. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions for me or if you have any video ideas, please drop a comment below or send me an email. My email is right below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace.